Now in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to get ahead of 99% of the YouTubers who are starting in 2025 and 2026 in a few very, very simple steps. Now I'm going to introduce myself at the end of the video because I want you to get as much value as possible at the beginning, but rest assured, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to YouTube. So let's get straight into it. The first thing that will set you apart in 2025 and 2026 when it comes to YouTube is cutting out the noise. Now what I mean by that is there is so much information out there about how to run a YouTube channel, what makes good content, what makes a good video, how to do good hooks, all of those different things. The world we live in today, there is just so much information, and we know that people struggle with this because we work with clients and content creators, and they are trying to perfect everything before they've even started. And that's just simply because they're consuming so much information about how to do something, they're not even doing that thing. So if you really want to get serious about YouTube, cut out all of the noise, stop listening to all sorts of different people who are giving you advice, and just start uploading videos. I'm basically shooting myself in the foot when I say this because we help coach people on YouTube, but your favorite creator didn't start out learning a ton about YouTube or doing a YouTube course or doing a YouTube mastermind. At least most of them didn't. They started out by just uploading videos and learning along the way. Now, of course, you can speed up your process if you take in the right amount of information, but most people in this day and age are just overloading themselves with what it takes to be a YouTuber. They're not even starting because it just seems too much. So the first thing is just cut out all of that noise and just start uploading videos, which leads on to step 2, upload videos consistently. Do you want to know the number one thing that sets apart a good YouTuber and a bad YouTuber? It isn't titles, it isn't thumbnails, it isn't how good they are on camera, it isn't how they sound, it isn't how well they edit videos. It's whether or not they upload videos. Back in the day, YouTube was a very, very different place. You could upload videos whenever you wanted. It didn't really make that much of a difference being consistent. We've all seen the viral videos back in the day where a channel would just be created, they'd upload a video, it would just go viral. It doesn't really work that way anymore. Sure, it can happen, and it does happen for some channels, but for most of us and for most of the people watching this video, consistency is the number one thing that is going to set you apart from everyone else. Now, we talk with tons of want-to-be YouTubers, and the number one thing that's stopping them is the fact that they have started uploading videos on a regular basis and then they've just stopped uploading. They have no idea how close they could be to becoming full-time YouTubers if they would just carry on uploading videos. So literally the best advice that I can ever give anyone when it comes to YouTube isn't how to get fancy with things, or isn't how to learn how to hack the algorithm or anything like that. It's just upload on a regular basis. People come to us all the time and they say, my YouTube channel isn't working, my YouTube channel is broken, what am I doing wrong? And then they haven't uploaded in 3 months. And they started uploading once a week for 2 months, they didn't get many views, and then they just stopped. And now they're trying to fix what isn't even broken, they just didn't give it the time it needed. Now, I use the gym analogy a lot because I just think it's relatable to a lot of people. If you work out for 6 weeks, don't see any results, does that mean that the workout isn't going to work, or not, and that you're wasting your time? Of course it doesn't. It just means you need to keep putting in the work before you can see the results. YouTube is exactly the same. We always say to people 6 to 12 months on average, uploading 1 video per week is usually what it takes to start seeing some serious growth on your YouTube channel, or at least to test whether or not it's actually going to work. Anything over a year, if you're still getting 0 views, then you can start looking into changing things because maybe you're in the wrong niche, maybe your videos are lacking something. Probably not, because if you're not getting views, this is a common misconception. I don't want to tail off and start talking about loads of different things, but there's a common misconception that you're not getting views because your videos aren't good enough. That is not how it works. Your video can be the best video in the world and it'll get no views, and you can have a terrible video that will get a ton of views. You only know whether or not your video is good based on metrics you get, and you only get those metrics when you start getting views. Video quality is not a direct link to getting a ton of views. So simply stay consistent. 1 video per week, which is the gold standard for most channels. Yeah, there's some variations in that, but on average, long form content once per week for 6 months before you even start thinking about whether or not it can work or not. Now, the next thing, which leads into consistency, is making sure that you pick a niche that aligns with you as a person. And the reason that goes hand in hand with being consistent is people often choose a YouTube channel niche that they have no interest in, that's just an up and coming trend, or something that's going to be dead in 2 months. They're interested in it now. Are they going to be interested in 6 months? A common one is AI. A lot of people just jump on AI channels, as in talking about AI. They have a small interest in AI, but they're kind of just creating an AI YouTube channel because everyone is talking about AI, and they think, oh, I'll just capitalize on this. But they're not passionate about AI, and they're not passionate about learning AI. You don't have to be an expert in your field to create a YouTube channel in that field, but you have to have a level of passion that is going to be able to keep you consistent on a weekly basis. If you can't talk about the thing that you're talking about in your videos every single week for 6 to 12 months, you're not going to stay consistent. And if you're not consistent, like we said earlier, your channel is just not going to grow. So pick a YouTube niche that aligns with you as a person. It can be a hobby, it can be an interest, it can be your occupation. Like I said, you don't have to be an expert, but you have to have an interest in learning more about that topic yourself in order to stay consistent and talk about it for years to come, potentially. A lot of people don't realize you might be doing this for years. Can you talk about that thing for years? If not, don't even bother creating videos on it. And the last piece of advice that I want to give you in order to stand out amongst many YouTubers who start in 2025 and will start in 2026 and will just fall off mainly because of the reasons I've just spoken about, is niche down your channel. Now, back in the day, you didn't need to niche down as heavily as you do now in order to stand out because there was far less competition. In this day and age, one of the fast tickets to success on YouTube that we have seen over the past 2 or so years is by having a really, really tight niche, because then you can really stand out within that niche and you can expand then further from that once your channel starts growing. But for most people, when they say they're starting a YouTube channel on, let's just use AI for example, since it's on my mind. People say, I want to start an AI YouTube channel. Well, there's a million YouTube channels out there talking about AI. How are you going to stand out among those? So the way you do that is you niche down 2 or 3 times from your core niche. So let's just take AI for example. You could niche that down into, well, the first niche can be potentially you and how you present yourself. That you're going to stand out in that sense potentially. Maybe you have a unique voice or a unique way of talking or a unique look. That can be your one niche. And then your second niche can be you just focus on a specific type of AI, maybe the creepier side of AI, so like how AI is going to take over the world, and you become the channel that just talks about that one thing. So you niche down 2 or 3 times, and based on our experience, if you can niche down 2 or 3 times, you increase your chances of succeeding on YouTube by God knows how many, but it's a lot. Another example of that could be you want to create a gardening YouTube channel. Like, we get people who ask us all the time, I want to create a channel on gardening. And it's like, great, that would have worked 5 years ago, but now there's so many channels out there who just talk about gardening that it's really hard to make a name for yourself in a space like that. So niche down. Gardening, but gardening specific to a demographic. Maybe it's gardening specific to old people, or gardening specific to teenagers, or people, young people who want to get into gardening, beginner gardening, or advanced gardening. You have to pick a niche to begin with, focus on that, become really, really good at that particular niche, and then you can expand further later on down the line. So take your core niche, try and niche it down once, which is usually pretty easy. Niche it down 2 or 3 times, and you are usually in a position to have a YouTube channel that's really going to make a name for itself in this day and age. Take all the previous advice I've just given you, which is dead simple. It's not that difficult. Cut out all the noise, cut out all the trying to master the analytics and all that other stuff, and just start posting videos and see what happens. If anyone is still here, my name is Jay, and for the past 11 years, my wife and I have been creating YouTube videos and YouTube channels. We started a YouTube channel over 11 years ago that went on to become pretty much the biggest YouTube channel within its space. It was the fastest growing YouTube channel on the entire platform at one point. And we have 6 YouTube play buttons. We have another 3 YouTube play buttons coming hopefully very soon. We've got 3 channels that are almost crossing the 100,000 subscriber mark. YouTube takes about a year to send you out the buttons even after you've hit the goal, which is just insane. Sometimes they send them out a bit quicker, but most of the time they don't. So yeah, we got into the coaching game because we built up all this knowledge on YouTube and we just enjoy helping people. A lot of people were asking us for advice like a year or so ago. We helped out a few people get started on YouTube, and then we were like, I think we would enjoy teaching people. We have all this knowledge, and there was also a lot of people out there who are teaching very poor advice. telling people to change all these settings on YouTube that makes literally no difference, and just giving a load of junk advice that people don't need. It's hard enough just getting the basics down like we just talked about, being consistent, without trying to throw in all the other crap which a lot of people do throw in, just to sound like they know what they're talking about. And there's some great YouTube teachers out there, but for the most part, they're teaching you things that they've never actually applied themselves. So yeah, that's why we decided to get into this game. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to comment any questions down below. Also, check out our free school community. We're helping some really awesome YouTubers over there. So if you're a new YouTuber, if you're an experienced YouTuber, it makes a difference. If you have any interest in YouTube, join the community and you can jump on a live call with us. We do them usually every Monday, and we help troubleshoot any issues. We do like live reviews of the channel, and yeah, it's fun. So I'll see you over there. If not, I'll catch you in the next video.